Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawn Jones, and I'm the CEO of the iNetrepreneur Network. And today I am excited because I have a very unique and dynamic individual whose passion is centered around helping small businesses as well as large corporations retain their employees, build their relationships, and increase their customer retention. I have with me founder, owner, CEO of Z&B Consulting, Michelle Smith. Michelle, welcome.
Hi, Shawn. Thanks for having me.
So this is an exciting time, Michelle, because you are so passionate about what you do for others, and your whole passion, everything that you've done, originally started by being an educator, and you've taken your background of educating and you've turned that into a business to help other entrepreneurs and companies. But share with us, how did you get to where you're at today?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was interviewing with Robert recently, and he really helped me see that as a child, when I grew up in my family and with all of my little cousins, there was this community thing, and that's kind of happened throughout my life. So when I started my work career after college, I worked in hospitals, daycares, day camps, and was really running these different communities for youth and organizations. And as I had my own kids, I realized I don't want to be working with kids anymore. I want to just kind of go home, enjoy my kids, and enjoy their friends. So at that point, I kind of was more in these management roles for other companies and was leading their organizations, helping them get the right message out, helping them bring dollars in, helping them to have good customer service standards, and training all of their staff throughout the association so that they could really be of full service to those that they were serving in their organization. And I loved every bit of doing it. But as I continued doing that, there were so many long hours, and I wasn't getting to spend a lot of time with my kids like I had wanted to do. And I just realized there had to be a better way. So that was a perfect time for starting my own business at that point and being able to kind of learn how I could still support others, but also support myself. And it was nice to kind of figure that out and to enjoy my family and to build this business that I love, and to be able to go travel and serve other people, and to do it in areas where I have family and I can still visit them or do some vacations and things like that. So now in my own business, I help others do the same. So it's nice to kind of go back into those companies and work with them and give them some of my knowledge and my skills, and to also help people who are running their own businesses to do that in a way that really works with their skills and their talents, and works with also helping them enjoy their life and make a difference in the world.
So with your company, Z&B Consulting, you go in and you create ways for them to be successful. But you and I both know there's lots of different areas within owning a business or managing a business or having employees. I mean, there's all these different facets. Walk us through what you do when you are working with a client. Why are they coming to you? What is the typical reason clients come to you?
Yeah, it's different for everybody, and I really customize the work I do with them to meet their exact needs. A lot of it has to do with getting people in the door to their business and then keeping those people. And I really do a lot of work on relationship-based strategies, because when you can build relationships with people, you'll keep them as customers and they will refer other customers to you. So the premise of everything I do is really based around strategies that build relationships. And so whether that's getting people in the door, keeping people, whether that's making sure that when an organization is delivering programs or services, that they have the right communication pieces that are going out so that that emphasizes relationships and people feel connected. So sometimes it's in those areas, maybe it's in networking, maybe it's in fundraising, maybe it's in just that work-life balance, making sure that their employees aren't burnt out and they're really being able to kind of figure out how to do what needs to be done, but how to do it smarter, not harder, so that they can get these great results, but not do all these wasteful things that a lot of times we spend time on. So for each organization, it really is different, but at the heart of it all, it's all based around relationships, and it's all based around getting people in your door and keeping them so you can do your good in the world. Because so many of us, I feel God has put us here to carry his work out. And that's what I help people do.
Now, you also wrote a book, and I love your book. You had given Robert and I a copy. And what I noticed about your book, it's engaging, it's defining, and it's reflective. And you give that to your prospective clients or the clients that you're working with, and you have them fill this out. Share with us, what is the name of your book, and how do you use this book to help your clients so you too get a better understanding of where their direction is headed for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, the name of the book is Be Strategic, Be Intentional, Be Successful. And that for me, I really feel is at the heart of everything. When we can be strategic and intentional with what we're doing, we can see that success that we're looking for. And so that's really what this book is all about. Interestingly enough, I wrote the book early on in my business after I'd only been around for about a year, because I knew I was doing lots of speaking and I wanted a leave behind. And I also knew that there were lots of people who wanted support for me, but maybe didn't have the dollars to invest or the time to invest, and they still needed some support. So the book kind of served both of those purposes. And fast forward years later, it's kind of neat because, as you mentioned, it's now an integral part of everything that I do in my business. It's the starting point for all of my clients. And about a year after I had written the book, I did videos that go along with it. So there's actually an e-course that accompanies the book. And it's 18 different parts of business. And it's broken down into 3 different parts. One is the kind of the foundation that everybody needs to think about in their business. The other is the stuff that you actually do for your business, how you set up your programs and services. And then the last part I call the extras. And what I find that people do, they right away start a business and they go to those extras. They go to their social media and they set it up. They set up a website. They do all these things, but they skip the step of looking foundationally at what they want their business to be and how it's going to be unique and different than other businesses. They skip the part of like, what are your exact services going to be? So now they're in the extra part of networking and they're out talking to their business. And what happens is when they're talking to other businesses, they tell one person they do this, they tell another person they do this, they're changing it as they go along. And now people are confused. How do I refer you to other people? So the idea is when people start working with me, they do this book and it is very simple. It's very like each chapter is maybe only 2 to 3 pages long. Each video is only like 6 to 9 minutes. And then there's like 4 reflective questions, as you mentioned. And the beauty is it allows people to get all this stuff that's floating around in their head onto paper. And then I am able to read that and get laser focused. So with my private clients, I read that and I get very laser focused with them. And then we spend 4 intensive hours with all these Post-it notes on the wall and we develop a plan. And I create a plan for them. My assistant types it up and they use that for the next 6 months. And then we meet once a month and adjust the plan as we need to. My group coaching clients, I have an online course that walks them through how to do that on their own after they answer those questions. And then they come to my group calls a couple times a month and they get to ask questions as they need to. And then I even, for people who aren't even ready for that yet, they can just do the book themselves or just do the video series and kind of get started. That way, when they are ready to work with me and dig a little deeper, all of that stuff's already done. They're really clear. I have people actually who have had their businesses for years and they've gone through my book 3 different times, like re-looking at stuff, because as the world changes, as we change, all of these things change. So the book has been a really useful tool for that.
Absolutely. And you, with your business structure with Z&B Consulting, you can either come into their place of business physically, travel there outside of where you're located, go to their place and work directly, training them, getting them completely set up, A to Z, everything that you need done. And then you can turn them loose with what you've created with them. But then you also offer remote consulting services. So tell us a little bit, how do the two differ from each other?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do all of that. And what people, some people just need that little bit. And so we're able to get on Zoom. They do that, or I fly out and they're in a hotel and we do it in a hotel room. Same thing, like you said, with businesses where I'm going into the organization and I'm working with their staff teams. Sometimes it's, especially in this day and age, sometimes their staff teams are around the country in different places and they're not even in one physical location like we used to always be. So that remote option is perfect for them because we hop in on Zoom and we're able to connect that way. But then the in-person also works too, because people like that extra attention. They like being in person. They like to be able to move a little more and have it a little more dynamic. And I've done a combo actually. A lot of times I'll come into an organization and we'll start in person and do a half day or a full day intensive. And then from there, we meet on Zoom once a month after, so that we can kind of check in. Now that you learned all of this, what questions do you have as you've been trying to apply and put it into action? And so it really is what the organization needs. And I really meet them where they're at.
That's incredible. Now, you have a couple of passions. One is, your passion is to take your services, your training, all the tools and resources, and to be able to go into educational institutions to help them. But then you also have the nonprofit sector that is, you just want to help. I mean, that is your nature, is you just want to help everyone. So if I was an educational institution, tell us, what are a few things that you can do to help us as that school, whether it's a community-based school, private school, what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, like teachers, I mentioned, I think a little bit earlier about the topic of burnout. Our poor teachers, what they've been dealing with all of our kids, like, I love teachers to death because they deal with our kids when we don't have to for big chunks of the day. And as we've all gone through COVID and everything, and then a bunch of us had them home to deal with while they were learning, I've loved teachers even more. So, but there's so much that they've gone through as you're dealing with masks and kids who are in sporadically. And now I taught these kids, but these ones were out because they had to be quarantined. And it's really been rough for our teachers. And our teachers, a lot of them are parents themselves. So they're juggling all that stuff at home, or they're maybe dealing with older parents, and while they're also doing everything else. So there's such an increased reach for burnout, or possibility for burnout. And so what I love to do is to come in, and I can do it via a lunch and learn, via Zoom. I can do it in person at a Teacher Institute day, and talk to teachers about that topic of burnout. And I have 10 different tips that I give them on how to avoid that and how to really take care of themselves. I also, beyond the teachers and being able to help with those sorts of things, I'm able to help parent volunteers, give them structure, give them guidelines in how to raise dollars for your school and how to market the events that are going on, how to build them based on the parent needs, and how to really tie volunteers in with their skill sets, because so many times we just need everything done, and who the heck's willing to volunteer? And people get sucked into doing things they maybe aren't wired to do, or maybe things they don't have time to do. And then there's frustration. So I try to cut that frustration out and really teach people how to do that, how to approach people and have those right conversations and get the right players in the right seats in the bus, and get that done. So yeah, lots of ways in those areas that I can help schools, as well as in getting, like we said before, getting their students in the door. You know, we have private schools and so many, daycares and places like that, swim schools out there, like all these things. The world has changed. Getting people in the door and keeping them. It can be a hard thing. And when you don't, the revenue doesn't come in, and then your school suffers. So we don't want that. We want the kids to have the resources they need, the teachers to have the resources they need. So I come in and I help people with those skills that they might not have.
That's incredible. Michelle, what is the biggest, I always like to give golden nuggets to all of our viewers. What is the one biggest golden nugget that you can give away to every entrepreneur right now who is watching you in this interview?
Oh gosh, the biggest thing I would say is you don't have to work hard constantly. Like, there are so many coaches out there that are like, roll up your sleeves, and if your knuckles aren't bleeding, you're not doing all the work and things like that. And business doesn't have to be hard. When you're using God's talents and you're going out and doing your good in the world, and you're talking with him and figuring out where he wants you to go, and you're clear on what it is you can do in those talents, the people are going to show up. You don't have to effortfully work to get them in the door. A lot of times when we do that, we're not going in the direction that he wants us to go in. So it's being still, listening, and seeing, observing, like what needs to happen. But so often we think, I'm starting a business and it has to be tons of hard work and tons of effort. It doesn't have to be. It can really be different.
Michelle, if somebody would like to reach out, whether they're an educational institution, they just have a general business within any industry, or they're the nonprofit that you're looking to help, how can they get in contact with you and find out more about Z&B Consulting?
Yeah, a great way is to go right to my website. It's Z like Zachary, the word and, B like Benjamin, consulting.com. I actually named my business after my boys, Zach and Ben. So Z and B consulting.com. And right on that homepage there's a button that you can hit. You can schedule a free call to talk. Phone number is on there, email is on there, and just reach out and get in touch with me. And there's information on there about my different services. There's also a blog. I post a new article every week. Some are geared directly towards nonprofits, some towards entrepreneurs, some towards any business. And you can access those on there, as well as I have some free courses that are available in my online academy that I have as well.
Okay, well, Michelle, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be in the moment, be present, share about your passion, and help us understand who it is that you're working towards to help. I mean, you have an incredible business. I love the book that you have and how you've really brought that in to help your clients get on track with themselves, because they have to be able to align with what their head wants, their heart has to hold, as well as their end goals. So very beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
So for those of you who have just watched, Michelle Smith, she is the founder, CEO, owner of her business, Z&B Consulting. She will also be one of our speakers at the Art of Connection Summit happening on March 31st. If you would like to learn more about Michelle and how you can experience even one of her workshops at the event on March 31st, go to artofconnectionsummit.com.